Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. Monday Night Football action. We've got Carolina against the Philadelphia Eagles, led by Mark Sanchez. Brian, I'm going to tell you, this is your free play, but I'm going to come right out of the gate and tell you, I got a serious problem with the game because I've got two of my favorite scenarios butting heads in this game. The first is we've got Philadelphia with the injury. You know, the injured player theory generally, I like to look at the team that's got the injury that first game because it just seems like the rest of the team plays at a higher level to compensate for the loss. So the fact that this will be the first game without Nick Foles and Sanchez getting a start, that would have me looking at Philly. But my other favorite, one of my scenarios that I like, is I like a team that got embarrassed on TV. And Carolina looked horrible against New Orleans last Thursday night. I'll admit it, they fooled me. I thought they were a live home dog against the Saints coming off their big Sunday night game. Short week, I thought it was a great situational spot for Carolina. And there's no other way to put it other than they flat out sucked.
Yeah, they stunk last week, and I was with you on that. I had Carolina also. But you're right. It's a team that not only is off an embarrassing loss, they have extra time to prepare here. I'm granted they've got some injury problems at Carolina. They don't have a lot of receivers to throw to. That's a problem. The quarterback has not been very accurate as of late. But look at this Philadelphia team. They've got their own injury problems. This is a team who has never been a good favorite at home. I mean, how many years do you have to go back and see Philadelphia just does not cover the spread when they're playing at home? And they're coming off a big win last week against Houston. And they've set themselves up pretty well in that division. All their division rivals are losing. Dallas lost. We're to the point now where Washington and the Giants are basically out of the picture. So it's basically they've set themselves up very well. Now, granted, they're not going to take a Monday Night Football game off. It's obviously a big game for them. But what I really like here is the Mark Sanchez factor. Not only is basically Vegas and ESPN thinking there's really not a drop-off here, but all the ESPN anchors are saying how great a fit this is for Mark Sanchez. This is the coming-out party for Mark Sanchez. And granted, it was a terrible situation. The Jets, he had no receivers. You know, it was a bad situation. And it's continued on since he's left. The Jets haven't gotten any better. But everybody's going to look at this and say, well, maybe they're better with Mark Sanchez. Well, I'm not so sure they are. And we saw some of his throws last week. He did not impress me as much as he impressed a lot of other people. And I think we're getting a little bit of value here. And it would not surprise me. Right now, line's looking at 6. Once we get to Monday Night Football, I don't see a lot of people are going to be betting on Carolina in this game. We may catch a rogue 7 here with the dog.
Yeah, Sanchez went in relief 15 of 22 last week for 202, but he did have 2 interceptions. He still makes bad decisions. This is one of those games, I can't disagree with you. I don't know come Monday if I'm going to be involved, and I think a lot of it will do with the week how it plays out, with where that line settles on Monday Night Football. Carolina, and unlike everybody else, and people think the Cappers we're immune to it, but we're human. When we bet a team and they suck for us, we got a bad taste in our mouth too, you know. And I had my money on Carolina last week, and they couldn't play any worse than they played last week. And generally, you know, the fact coming on a TV game, we're going to look at that, and I think we are getting line value on Carolina, even if it doesn't get to 7, because like you said, people are so anti-Carolina that no matter how they're figuring the Sanchez, if they're giving too much for Sanchez or not, they're taking enough points away from Carolina because of bad they played. So the value is, if you're playing this game, definitely is on the Carolina side, that's for sure. So I got to agree with you there. Philadelphia, their defense, it's still a problem for them. They've allowed 6 of the last 7 opponents to score 21 points or more against them. Carolina has had trouble scoring this year. The games that they have scored points is when Cam Newton has used his feet. When he has ran the read option and it's worked, it's opened things up, because then the passing game does get some openings for them off of that, because people got to respect the run. So for Carolina to do it, you're going to have to see a big game out of Cam Newton, either with his feet or with the passing game, and I think there's more of a chance of it with his feet.
Yeah, and he's been criticizing the media about his overthrows lately, so obviously, you know, and he's been under a lot of pressure since he's been there because they expected so much from him. I expect him to come out and play a better game here in, you know, coming into the season. And granted, it's just one sports book putting up these lines. The line was 1 for Philadelphia, so I think a little bit of an overreaction here. But the line, in my opinion, should probably be 4.5. We're catching 6. Obviously, that's why we're taking a look at the Ducks.
As bad as Carolina's record is, because they're in a division that nobody's running away with, they still have a chance in the playoff race, so it is a huge game for them. Philadelphia, because of the division they're in, as you said, they have room for error if they lose. All right, Brian says to go ahead and take Carolina plus the points on Monday Night Football. That's going to wrap things up for us. But, hey, Monday night, you know what that means. Tuesday is the next day, and every Tuesday at wagertalk.com, it's $2 Tuesday. We pick one capper, and we give his best bet for Tuesday away for just $2. It's a great opportunity to check out the cappers at Wager Talk. And now you got NBA action going. College basketball will be starting soon too. So be sure to tune in every day at wagertalk.com to see what we've got going. That's it for this week, guys. Best of luck with all of your plays this weekend. He is Brian Leonard. Thanks again for coming into studio. I'm your host, Marco D'Angelo. We'll be back next week here at wagertalk.com.